Ken Ramsey, Bridgeport United Methodist Church, thank you for joining us for another 10-minute Bible study. We've been looking at life's most important questions by looking at the questions that Jesus himself asks in the gospel. Today, I want us to study Mark chapter 4, verse 21, a very important question for the disciples of Jesus' day, a vital question for us today. And Jesus said unto them, Is a candle brought to be put under a bushel or under a bed, and not to be set on a candlestick? There's the question. Is a candle brought to be put under a bushel, under a bed, and not to be set on a candlestick? Jesus was saying to them, I'm giving you my light. I'm giving you this candle of love, not so that you can hide it, but so that you can share it with all of the world. In fact, Jesus reinforces this in Mark's gospel in the end, Mark chapter 16, when he says to them, Go ye therefore into all the world and preach the gospel. Matthew's commentary on this same concept of the candle and the light being shed and not being shed abroad and not hidden, he says, Let your light so shine before all people, so that they might see that light and glorify God who is in heaven. Jesus gives us the light so that we can share that light with all people, not so that we can hide it. Share with the entire world. There's a game in basketball, that's why I'm in the gym again. My kids and I used to like to play it. It's called Around the World. Around the World. You made baskets at different places around the key, and you tried to make it all the way around without missing. Now, if you did miss, you always get a risk. And if you make it on your risk, you're able to continue on and you do not lose your turn. I'm going to try to do that really quickly, as quickly as possible. Then I want to come back and tie that in to allowing our candle, our light, to shine all around the world. We start up close. Go to the corner. Tough to rebound for yourself. Come to the elbow. Come to the foul line. So far, so good. No risks. Not bad to the bounce. I need to risk that. There it is. Right in. Over to the corner. That's right in. Final corner shot. Right in. Back to the layup. I shouldn't be out of breath, but I am a little bit, because I was trying to get all the way around the world. I think I make that with just one risk, maybe. That's kind of a good record for me, because a lot of times I miss. But listen, I want to tie this in to sharing the light, the candle that Jesus has given us with all of the world. Why was this such an important teaching for Jesus at this time? In the Old Testament, the chosen people of Israel, according to the prophet Isaiah, they were chosen in order to be a light to the nations. Israel wasn't chosen because they were terrific people. They weren't chosen because they were perfect in every way. They weren't chosen in order that they might lord their chosenness over other people. The prophet Isaiah says, God has chosen you so that you could be a light to all of the world. That comes back in the New Testament. Jesus himself, raised in the Hebrew faith, was telling the people, listen, this light that God has given you, the candle of his love through my love for you, was never intended for you to hoard, keep to yourself. It never was intended to be hidden. It was intended to be shared with the entire world. One of the things that Israel did, and kind of highlighted again in the Gospels when Jesus says he came into his own and his own received him not, is that they took their special relationship with God and kept it to themselves. And not only that, they used their special relationship with God as a way of excluding other people. Sound familiar? Sometimes we in the Christian community are guilty of the same thing. We have the light of Christ, but instead of sharing it openly with the entire world, we keep it to ourselves and think we're so much better than other people. And oftentimes we use the light to exclude other people. Friends, that's not light, that's darkness. Jesus said, I've given you this candle not to hide, and when we keep it to ourselves, we're hiding it, but to put on a candle stand. In other words, go into all of the world. Now, I want to tie this into the little game that you saw me do. When you're going around the world, first of all, it's a challenge. And yes, you'll get out of breath no matter what kind of shape you're in. Spiritually speaking, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to take the light of the world, Jesus, into a world that oftentimes seems filled with darkness. But friends, we have the promise that he goes with us, that he'll never leave us, that he'll be beside us every step of the way. It is a challenge to take that candle and let it shine all around the world, just like it was always a challenge for me and my kids to do around the world in the basketball game. But my friends, we can meet that challenge because we don't have to meet it alone. We have our Lord who is with us, and we have one another. So that if you see my light starting to wane, or maybe my light even gets extinguished because of the circumstances or the winds of fear and anxiety in the world, then someone else can come around and share that light with me. I remember one time acolytes were coming up to light the candlesticks at the front of the church, and one of the acolytes' sticks went out as he went to light the candles. And it was perfect because he looked over to the other acolyte, and the other acolyte, without even needing any prompting, immediately brought their stick over and shared the light with him so that he could continue to light his candles on that side of the altar. That's a picture of what we are to do with the candle of love, the light of grace that God has given us, to share it with all people. It's a challenge, but together we can do it. The other part of the game, perhaps you noticed I needed to do that when I was shooting at the top of the key. I had to risk it. It's the one that I missed as I went around the world. I had to risk it. In order to fulfill the mission of Christ, of taking that light, not hiding that candle under a bushel, it involves risk. We have to be willing to move out of our comfort zones into places that we're maybe not quite ready to go. But because Jesus calls us to that place, we're able to do it. We're able to take a risk on behalf of his kingdom. I can risk loving the enemy. I can risk doing good to those who persecute. I can risk reaching out to people that other people want to exclude and leave out. Why can I risk that? Because I'm following the call of Jesus Christ, because you've decided to let your light shine, to let your candle be on a candlestick. And the final thing I wanted you to notice with around the world is that there were different locations. You know, I started in close and then I moved out. When it comes to letting our light shine, when it comes to putting our candle on the candle stand, start where you are. Start close to home, your family, your friendship circles, then move out, just like in the Around the World game. Move out into your workplace, into school, into your social arena. And then finally, we widen the circle even more to go out to the entire world, to embrace people that others don't want to embrace. Friends, that's who we're called to be. We're not given this candle, this light of Jesus Christ, to hide it under a bushel or put it under the bed and keep for ourselves. We're called to let the entire world know about that light of Jesus Christ. I pray that you will allow the light of Jesus Christ not only to shine and be received into your own life, but be extended to all people as we go around the world with the light of Jesus Christ, the candle of his love. Thank you for joining us for this 10-minute Bible study. I look forward to seeing you again. May God bless you.